Terry, where did you think the game turned? And more than that, why did the game turn? What did either they start doing a little more or you stop doing a little less?
I think we wanted to take care of third quarter because it's been hurting us these first three games, and I think we controlled it at the beginning. And then we didn't stay with it. We didn't do the things that that got us the lead. And once they start hitting shots and start feeling themselves, and we couldn't score, it's tough to not score, then get back on defense end and definitely not guard nobody, especially when they start feeling themselves. So it's a little bit of both, but you got to give them credit too.
Terry, you and Tyler both had opportunities to attack the drop coverage tonight, but Spo was just saying he feels like he needs to get Bam the ball more somehow. Do you guys, and nobody expects it to be perfect in this part of the season, but do you guys feel that starting unit, you have a full grasp of who's supposed to get the ball when, who's getting the shots when?
We just got guys that's connected and trying to play together. We all know that we got to give Bam more shots and we got to get him in his rhythm. So that's something that, we got to talk about and starting with me, I got to do a better job of. But, sometimes when you're out there just playing, you got guys that's trying to connect with others out there. Sometimes best shot is, it may not be for Bam, but like I said, I got to demand it and make sure he's feeling himself, from now on.
Terry, specifically for you, what was working in that final period compared to the first three? I think you were 1 for 6, 1 for 9 shooting. Was it just as simple as the ball wasn't going in, or is there something else to that?
Yeah, it's just as simple as that. When going in, I don't think I changed my. I don't think I hold my follow through a little longer or something like that. I don't know. Just start going in.
Terry, to go back to the question that Coop asked about Bam, is that kind of the challenge of having so many guys who could score and create for themselves, where the shot distribution is tough to figure out because you do have 4 or 5 guys on the floor that could.
Yeah, we got guys that can score, create for themselves, create for others, but just definitely got to give Bam the ball. Something that's I gotta be better at and make sure I do that.
How's your ankle?
It's cool. Be all right. Appreciate it.
What's it like when you have it going and sort of seem to be getting your team in a good spot, and then Cat just keeps making shot after shot and lifting them back? What was that back and forth between you and him like, and what was it like to see what he was doing?
He's a handful. He's a 7-footer who can put it on the floor, can make deep threes, and he's obviously a handful in the paint. I think he caught a rhythm early, and he was able to sustain that throughout the whole game. I think we could have did a better job just putting bodies on him, making things tougher. Also, Bam got in foul trouble early, so Bam kind of couldn't play as aggressive on that side.
Okay, it's still early and you're working through things, but what's been the challenge so far of just getting Bam to his spots and getting him the ball consistently where he likes to get it?
Just finding ways to get him the ball in the areas, that can make our offense, continue to rise. I don't want to use the wrong words. Obviously, he's one of our best players, and we have to get him the ball. Continuing to find advantages where he can get the ball and expose mismatches, but I'd like to see him continue to be aggressive, and he'll get it going. It's early on in the season, and I don't think there's anything to worry about with Bam. He puts the work in, and he always figures it out.
Tyler's, just 4 games, but what we've seen so far, it seems like the offense is being dictated somewhat by the matchup every night. Whether tonight you and Terry can go against drop. Last 2 games are matchups for Bam and Jimmy. You guys have so many scoring options. Is that difficult sometimes to go into every game thinking, okay, now there's maybe a different focal point based on the matchup?
I think it can be difficult when you're trying to get to a certain game that we're trying to play. But I think at the same time, winning basketball is winning basketball, and if it's getting Jimmy or Bam the ball, then that's what it is. I think a lot of people are getting caught up in the offensive rating number and this, that, when as long as we win, that's all that matters. If it's 98 to 97 and a half, as long as we win, that's it. And we can do it defensively. I said that after the Magic game. I think the offense has been what it's been for 5-6 years now, right? and we've won games, and we're just continuing to work through it. And I think there's flashes of like where it can be good, and other times it's a little slower than we like. But just got to continue to work through it early in the season, and it ain't gonna get better just not working at it.
Tyler, it looks like individually you're very comfortable in this offense. Does it feel like that as well in terms of being a scorer and also a playmaker?
Yeah. I mean, the coaching staff and my teammates have made it easy on me. Just being able to play off the catch. Obviously I still have the ball in my hands a little bit, where I can create and make plays. But it's been easy and smooth transition just because of my teammates being able to. We have so many guys who can get in the paint, so even though I am off the catch, I can still play an aggressive basketball.
The challenge did Cat provide just throughout?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we held Brunson, down in the first half. I just think he was very intentional. I mean, it was well documented that Towns had not gotten going yet this season, and Brunson, mentioned that he was going to, take the responsibility to get him the ball, and he did. It was very clear that they were trying to get him the ball, and Brunson was just kind of facilitating in the first half, and then, when he needed to make plays in that second half, particularly late third and fourth, he was able to do that as well.
Coach, I know it's a loss, but Tyler, 34 points, and especially showed off the playmaking. He looks very comfortable in this offense. Can you just kind of talk about that in the transition from last season to this season?
Well, I think, it was disjointed, but at the beginning of last season, he was off to a great start. And then the year before that, he had a great offensive year. I think the biggest difference now is he's, he has more physicality defensively. And he's making a lot of right plays, offensively. It's not just about the scoring. He's been able to do that for the last couple of years. No one's just been paying attention to that. But he's becoming much more of a complete basketball player.
Seemed like in the first half, especially Tyler, with the drop coverage with Towns, were you getting most of the shots that you wanted against their matches?
Not necessarily. We were able to turn the corner, make some plays in the first half, and we scored 56 points, 58 points, whatever it was. But obviously we need to get the ball to Bam too. And that's on me. I have to find a way. This is not about a new offense. This is about having all of our guys healthy. We have the most weapons that we have, and we score, 107 points. That's not what we're aiming for right now. Everybody's got to be able to feel aggressive. They got to be able to feel like themselves. And we'll get there, and that's on me, to get Bam in the spots where he can feel more comfortable, whether it's pick and roll, whether it's flashes, at the elbow, whether it's in the post, all the different areas where he can. We'll get better with that.
You spoke before the game how the bench rotation might change from game to game. Tonight you went with Drew. What about this matchup made you go with Drew tonight?
I thought he was really good in the first half. Some of that defensive pressure and the spark, that kind of shifted the momentum in those minutes, not just Drew, but the second unit. But it didn't necessarily happen in the second half with that unit, but it started when the starters were out there. I had to call the first timeout. After we got to a lead, and then they came storming back, I had to call that timeout while the starters were on the floor, and that's when the momentum, started to shift.
They were finding their looks from three, but we don't always see you use zone, especially with Bam on the floor down the stretch. What was the zone? What were you thinking there?
Just to give him a different look, different rhythm. And some of those Brunson Towns pick and rolls. Again, some of the things that were working in the first half were not working. Those are some of the decisions you have to make as a head coach. In the fourth quarter, I probably made a lot of wrong decisions. That's on me. Okay, thank you.